Can you see if is my background blurred?
It's white. Looks like there's a huge white light behind you, and you're just the glowing bit in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, unblur my background. Better.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I can see you fine.
Oh, it's
looks good. Yeah.
So you're doing all right then?
Yeah. I've had a few days off this week, so it's been quite nice just to hang.
What have you been up to?
Been at work. Been out in the garden, tidying up.
Yeah,
planting
nice
some
weather.
seeds. Yeah, it's been amazing. Yeah. A couple of nice walks. Got my feet wet. So quite nice. Yeah. What about you?
Nice days. We were out in the garden yesterday. It was literally sunny, like not a cloud in the sky.
Nice.
So we spent the day before. So what day we're on now? Sunday. So Friday we spent all day getting the garden right and jet washing.
Yeah.
I believe I've got to nearly 40, and I've never had a go of a jet wash. And it's brilliant, isn't it?
Good fun.
We borrowed the jet wash off the neighbour, and we just blasted the whole patio, all the brickwork on the back garden and that. And it's come up amazing. It's so bright and clean.
Yeah.
We painted the back stone as well, like a cream colour, so it sets all we've got loads of Japanese maple bushes in the back garden.
Nice. And
it sets them off. So the garden's looking sound now. So yesterday we took advantage and just spent all day in the sun.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, everyone, I think lots of people have got the same ideas, haven't they? Everyone's going to have immaculate gardens and immaculate houses if they've managed to get hold of paint and materials. Yeah.
We managed to get paint because B&Q, even though it's closed, it's got a click and collect.
Good.
So you can go in, you can go on a virtual. Laura was on it the other day, and online, when you click B&Q, you have to wait. You're in a virtual queue. But once you get access to the store online, you've got as long as you want in the shop.
Oh, wow.
Online. But it's because they must have so many people trying to buy stuff, there's a virtual queue.
Oh, wow.
So we're not only queuing in real life, in actual life.
Yeah.
We're also queuing virtually now as well.
Virtual queues. That's so weird, isn't it? Because the shop in Fishguard, the co-op, they've only really this week started the counting people in and floors and got all the screens up and everything. So yeah, that's been weird. People queued up outside, 2 metre distancing. Yeah, it's weird.
They've done it at our local shop for a while now, and they have it's almost like we can't be trusted to stand 2 metres apart. There's actually crosses, yellow crosses. 2 meters apart to the tills. Yeah, some people are still ignoring it and just walk straight past you, but there's going to be that in there. How can you actually if you can't walk past someone via 2 meters width between you?
Yeah,
it's a bit mad.
A guy in work the other day said, "Oh, it's brilliant." He said every supermarket now is like going into Waitrose because there's so much room and everyone's so polite. Have you been in there yet since they've done all the 2 meter stuff? You've actually been in a shop yet? Yeah.
Did you not feel like there was a bit of lack of confusion between how the till bit works? I went up there, so I had whatever I went in for, a few little small bits and bobs.
Yeah.
And so I approached the till, then the woman stands back.
All right, okay,
I put my items on, but then there's a bit of, so I have to stand back while she takes my items, scans them, and then you get to pay, and you're so she stands back, and then you pay with your contactless, and then she gives you a receipt, but then there's that confusion, hang on, I don't know how this really works.
Yeah, little dance going on.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny, the one I went to, they've got the screens up to protect everyone, the staff and us.
Yeah.
A little hole to put your card through, but then at the end where you'd pack your bags, there is nothing, so everyone's kind of walking past the screen and just standing at the end, and because that's where you would pack your bag. It's just and then you kind of leaning back to put your card through the hole to do the contact. Yeah, you're right. It's it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. So you said you went down to the beach yesterday then?
I've had a couple of nice walks. Yeah, it was down there at low tide. Got a little paddle up to the knees.
Nice.
Dog had a little swim, and then got a nice little bit where we can walk along a river and back up through some woods. So it's quite a decent walk.
What happens in Fishguard regards like people who've got boats and that? Then obviously they can't go out on them, can they? Or can you? Is that
No,
allowed?
there's a couple that go out fishing every day for supplying food.
Yeah.
But normally this week they would be craning in all the yachts. It sounds grand, doesn't it? But there are boats like in the car park.
Yeah.
But they've cancelled that for the whole year now, so they're not craning them in at all this season, I was told. So yeah, it would just be the 2 or 3 fishing boats going out each day, and that's it.
So I suppose they're classed as like essential workers then, aren't they? The fishermen.
Yes. Yeah.
I suppose they would be, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Well, normally this weekend it would be so busy here, especially with the weather like this. You know, Lower Town would be busy. They had cruise ships that came in last year, quite a few.
All right.
So they would sort of be brought into the town and shown around. So they're missing out on all that this year. But
it's mad, the amount of money, what like the tourism and that, and it's stuff like you don't think about. Like I would never have assumed that like Fishguard had like that tourism element.
Yeah.
Ships coming in, and it's weird that.
Yeah, well, you didn't see it at its best when you came down, did you? So.
No. When was that? It was March, April, was it, when we came down?
Yeah, it was like the end of March, wasn't it?
I think we were just unlucky. Like I bet 8 years out of 10 years on that weekend the weather's been like beautiful, but it just so happened at one time we came down it was torrential. Yeah.
Wild, isn't it?
I know.
Wild. Such a shame. Oh, that's all right. That time will come again when you.
Yeah, of course it will. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I keep meaning to get in contact with Ian actually.
Yeah.
I've not spoke to Ian over this since we've been in lockdown and that like so.
Yeah, they had a trip planned again for July, I think, for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So they've been down for the past couple of years, I think, and had a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Seeing the pictures and that. Yeah, we'll definitely be down again.
Good.
I know.
Good. You've been out and about this week then with your dog on that nice little walk that you do?
Yeah. We've been taking Olga out and that. She's not been well actually. She had a swollen ear. We think she got stung in her ear.
Oh shit.
Or like caught a nettle in it or something and it swelled up. So we took her to the vet. They give her a course of steroids and they make her dead lethargic.
All right.
So she's not really been herself, but it was only a short course and she finished them the day before yesterday. So she's slowly coming around to being back to her normal self and that like.
Yeah, good.
It's weird how you can see like a little change in like personality.
Yeah.
Just because she's had a few like steroids, they make her like dead, like almost as though she is drugged up, but like just dead lethargic and she took a walk in last night and she was just like dead slow and plodding and normally she's got a spring in her step and she's bouncing everywhere. But she's slowly getting back to her normal self, like, but not been going too far afield really, just a normal route that I take her up into the woods on Sankey Valley. And you won't think we're on lockdown, to be honest. There's that many people knocking about. You know, people are like keeping the distance and that, but
yeah,
there's loads of families and people getting out and walking, and yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, and I guess because lots of people that's all we can do, isn't it? Is just get outside and walk. So even people that maybe wouldn't normally be getting outside and walking
are doing, yeah.
Maybe they're getting out and doing something too.
I know. But it'll be interesting to see what happens because I think tomorrow will be like the 3 weeks of the lockdown, won't it?
Yeah, have they given any indication as to that? I would imagine it's going to be extended, would you?
I think it's going to be extended, but I think we heard Ireland have extended their lockdown for another 2 weeks, I think it was. And I'd imagine because Ireland were the first ones to close the schools and that as well, weren't they?
Oh, were they?
So I think we'll end up following suit, but they've got this, what do they call the meetings? Cobra meetings.
Yeah.
They've got one, and I presume it'll be like another 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know if they'll make the measures more controlled, like maybe that you can't go out at all or anything. I don't think they'll go that far yet, but we'll see. They're almost up to like 1,000 deaths, aren't they, a day?
Yeah. No.
Yesterday was 910 or something like that.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow. How is it in your area now then, in comparison to last week when we?
It's not been too. I mean, I was speaking to Laura about it the other day. We don't really know anyone who's been affected by it in terms of like who's got it, who's actually been diagnosed as got it. We don't know anybody, but my sister last week she was saying how it's the first time that she's actually been dealing with patients who have got it.
Right.
So like directly there, like, so I think as the cases go up, because like we said last time, it's like kind of growing exponentially in it. So as the cases go up, we are starting to hear little like trickles of people who are dealing with people who've got it, maybe people who have got it. But up to now, I don't really know anybody personally who's got it or anything. But there's all sorts of like scaremongering on. Again, me and Laura were discussing this the other day on Facebook. Again, all this fake news, and you don't know what to believe half of the time. But people, just because it's on social media, people assume that it's like legit and kosher news. And it was saying that St Helens is the highest in the northwest for coronavirus and all this. But I think it was just a fake news. Do you know what I mean?
You got to wonder how these things start.
Yeah, I know.
And you're right. People read it and then they repost it and comment on it and without sort of checking.
Yeah, and people know, like the sister's husband's neighbour's cousin's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Knows a guy in the army who said that like they're all waiting around the corner. Yeah. But I don't know anyone personally, like, but I think the cases are getting higher. So eventually, if it's going exponentially, then we are going to end up hearing soon. It's going to start being a bit closer to home, innit?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
What about Wales? And Wales is quite. Is Wales not got that many cases, or is it increasing?
Well, Newport Gwent is one of the highest.
Oh, is it?
Sort of for the amount of the population, I think the percentage that have got it.
All right.
Positive. I think it's the highest in the country, sort of per 100,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it came. They did the top 5. Again, it's a thing I read the other day. I don't know if it's true or not, but that was top. And then the next 4 were different boroughs of London.
Yeah.
That were quite high. So, yeah, so that's weird. But like I said, because we're so far west and we're quite rural and population are quite isolated anyway, and we have that extra time to prepare. Hopefully, it might. Might make a difference. I don't know. But then I keep hearing these things about, this is the first wave. It's not going to disappear, this thing.
All right. So,
and
what do you mean? So we're in the first wave, and then like it's going to get up, because they're all talking about this dip, aren't they? So going up the peak, and then we're going to have another big hit. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Well, I was watching a thing last week. What was it? It might have been Joe Rogan. He had another scientist on, and he was saying, we don't know whether it's seasonal, like flu. Flu is seasonal. It comes back. Yeah. So there's a lot that they don't know. So
he had
might get past this surge and
come again.
And then who knows? So that's what I keep thinking.
I can't honestly see how we're going to go back to being the same as it was before.
Yeah.
It can't be, because I think everyone's now adopting in every walk of life. I can't see how it's going to go back to being the same as it was, because like I said about B&Q, they're having virtual shopping now online. Yeah. So people are going to start incorporating, because you can only do stuff online now. Do you know what I mean? People are going to start incorporating that into their business model. I've seen it happen with jiu-jitsu. People are doing more online content.
Oh, okay.
So I think something will change in terms of, because surely if businesses are thinking, well, all right, we've obviously lost revenue through the coronavirus, but we've got this online platform now and we're making X amount of money online. Why do we need to keep paying for our premises when we've got this online platform? Surely we can build, do you know what I mean? Things like that, like people might just get rid of their actual premises and
the rentals, yeah.
And maybe see that they can flourish online through a different business model, but using like a virtual shop, a virtual high street.
Yeah, could happen, couldn't it? It could have. I think all that was coming anyway, but it's just kind of hastened
accelerated the process.
Yeah.
And then I think, because I don't know what it's like in around yours, but people are reluctant to pay in cash around our place.
Well, I did ask in a shop the other day. I said, "Oh, are you still taking cash?" And she went, "Oh yeah, we are at the moment." And then I said to her, "That's a really weird question to ask, isn't it? Are you still taking money?"
But then, because you hear about eventually we were always going to go into where no money would change hands. It'd just be a credit card transaction
Sure.
Zeros and ones would go from my account to your account.
Yeah.
No actual hard money, tangible money would change hands. So again, I think that's been accelerated, where maybe when we come back to being normal, we won't see any cash. We won't be able to touch money anymore. It'll just be cards, plastic.
Yeah, phone, watch.
Yeah.
Get rid of your filthy, dirty money. We don't need it. Yeah.
So then, like, it'll bring up this thing about what is money then? What is money? Because there'll be no tangible thing to for me to you do a service for me and I give you hard cash.
Yeah.
Won't be that I'll just like do me watch or contactless. So then something happens between my account and your account, but there'll be nothing there to touch.
Yeah. It's weird,
it's a
isn't
weird
it?
like concept, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, because you've read not Homo Deus. What's the first one? Sapiens, is it?
Sapiens, that's right, yeah.
Does he talk about that sort of how money starts in that, and it's basically an agreement? We'll agree that this is worth this much, and I'll pretend that it's worth.
It could be like in apples or onions or something.
Yeah.
Or like sheep or cattle. Yeah, you do something for me, and we agree that this is worth 12 of my sheep. Yeah, it's interesting. I might read that again actually, because that's a really good book.
Yeah, I think I might do the same. Again, we've spoken about books before, and it's interesting at the time, but I just remember so little from so much stuff that I read. It's unreal. So.
And I don't know about you, but how often do you actually revisit a book that you read?
Quite rare, actually. I mentioned that one to you last week, didn't I? The Fear Project. I mean, that's been 6 years since I read that.
Really?
But I thought now was the time to have a look at it, and
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I mean,
fear's so rare.
Fear's a big subject at the moment as well, isn't it? People are literally living in. Obviously, there's worst case scenarios and people worse than others, but people are literally living in fear, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, you look at especially the bigger cities. You look at what the hospitals are dealing with in London. It's it's kind of justified, isn't it? And to a certain extent, but
I know.
Yeah, if you're just watching the constant news cycle and some of the graphics they use, have you seen the Sky News graphic that they use? The coronavirus is bright red and
I know.
Screaming at you.
Yeah. So how much do you think that the media is scaremongering? Do you think it's accurate, or do you think it's over the top? Or?
I think they've got that. This has all been said before, isn't it? On stuff that we've listened to, they've got airtime to fill.
Yeah.
And at the moment, it's the most newsworthy story there is.
Yeah.
So I mean, we watched a little clip this morning. It's very rare that I'll watch Sky News. It'll be sort of 4 or 5 minutes and then I'll jump out. But there was quite a cool clip this morning. They were in a care home somewhere and just showing about the difficulties they're dealing with.
Yeah.
Well,
they were saying how, sorry to interrupt you, they were saying how when we have these recorded deaths per day, so England was at like 910 or something around that number, but they're not including care homes and things like that within those figures.
Yeah.
They've been leaving them out.
Well, and the same as the confirmed cases, the numbers are going to be off because the amount of people that will be staying at home because they're not feeling great.
Yeah,
they're not being tested now, so who knows how many people have had it or have got it.
Yeah.
Get it, And I read a thing as well that, again, I don't know how accurate it is. They did in Iceland, they tested quite a big chunk of the population. I think they've done more tests than any country, and they showed in their results that 50% of the people that I think were confirmed had it had no symptoms. They were asymptomatic. Yeah, so you got to wonder how many people may well had it and didn't know. But you can still transmit it. I think. I don't know if that's right.
Yeah. I think that was the big from what I've been listening to and read and that and seen on the news. That was the biggest thing, that you don't know if you've got it or not. So that was the biggest thing that led to the lockdown, because I could be walking around just being a host to this coronavirus.
Yeah.
And then obviously passing it on to your parents and that but I suppose it's difficult for the media really in some respects, because there's no sport or anything either, is there, to report on? There's nothing. There's nothing else happening.
I know. Do you watch much of the news or not?
We started. I mean, before all this happened, I very rarely listened to the news.
Yeah.
Like, I get all my like kind of current events from listening to Joe Rogan and London Real and like stuff on like the news feeds on my phone and that, like, but very rarely listen to actually put the news on. But then obviously all these updates started about lockdown and stuff like that, so we were tuning in at like 5 o'clock every night for Boris Johnson's daily update. But then what was happening was, so that was at 5, say the update started at 5, the updates would be like 15-20 minutes, but then we'd carry on watching it, and then they'd be interviewing somebody else from some other politician about what had just happened, and then they interview another politician about what the last politician had said about what had just happened. So you end up spending like 3 hours of an evening with this constant cycle of lockdown, what's going to come from lockdown, how it's going to affect the economy. So where we ended up like almost being like in a state of anxiety, me and Laura watching all these news cycles. So after about a week of this happening, 10 days, we decided to just watch the little press conference that they have. And then after that, we just switch it off. So that's where we're at now. Obviously, over the next few days, they'll be deciding whether lockdown's going to continue. So we will keep updated with that at like 5 o'clock or whatever time it's going to be on. But we honestly started feeling anxious because we were watching that many different interviews with people saying how it's going to affect us all in the future. And it was quite mad.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I've been trying to sort of stay away from watching it and just reading it on my phone, like dipping in 5 minutes, having a look at the main headlines, clicking any that kind of look interesting, and then putting it down and walking away to.
Yeah. Have you listened to? Have you heard or read any kind of? Not even if you kind of believe in them, but what conspiracy theories have you come across, if any? Took a little interest.
The one that made me laugh was the 5G.
Right.
Might be the cause of it.
It's interesting that you said that, actually. Hang on, I'm just getting on my phone. Let me try and find this guy's name.
Yeah.
We'll go on 5G. Was that with was that the David Icke stuff on London?
Oh, did you watch that?
I've not seen it yet, but I was telling Laura about it yesterday. Did you watch it?
No, I saw a clip, and then I listened to something the other day, and they said it's been taken down.
Right.
And I haven't checked since, because I thought, I might jump in on that, because that sounds like an interesting listen. Regardless
it was on London Real. Yeah. He was on London Real.
Yeah.
And then whenever the interview had happened, Brian Rose obviously uploads it onto YouTube. So they took it off YouTube.
Right.
And he made this big media post about like freedom of speech and all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then it was on the BBC News website. It was front page on the BBC News website that YouTube had took down this interview with David Icke regarding coronavirus and 5G.
Yeah.
So then obviously no publicity is bad publicity. So people must have started going to his website, London Real website, to listen to this interview. But then Vimeo took it down. So Vimeo removed it from their site.
Right.
And then yesterday, he'd put a big Facebook post out that someone had tried to hack into the London Real website to remove the actual hard copy of the video off their website. Because it was all free. You just got to sign up to their website, haven't you? But it was free to watch, but the whole thing was on their website. And someone had tried to hack into their website to remove it.
Wow. I wonder if it can still be downloaded on, say, from Podbean or somewhere like that then.
Probably, maybe. I've not had a look on iTunes on the podcast and that, but I'm not seeing if it's on there and that.
Yeah, but I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
But then you think, I don't really know much about David Icke. I know back in the day he was talking about like all the Rothschilds and that being reptilians from like something like that. I've not really watched much of his stuff, but I know the gist of that's where he started.
Yeah. I
think his views have changed on that actually, haven't they? But if he was sort of seen as this figure who can be like ridiculed for coming up with all these wacky and weird conspiracy theories, why go to the effort of removing it all from all these massive platforms?
Especially when you look at lots of other nonsense that kind of is on YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Surely now they've made more of a big deal about it, removing it, than if they just let it happen.
And just left it and ignored it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I started listening to. Hang on, let me see if I can find this guy. So again, another Facebook post. Someone had. What are you doing? Olga, dog's just coming in the kitchen.
Oh, she's perking up.
Yeah, I can't find it. I don't want to get his name wrong and that, but basically his theory or his conspiracy was that the reason why people are getting this coronavirus is because they've got weak immune systems, basically. And he's a well-renowned like scientist. This guy, like really highly qualified to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
I'll find his name after. I can't remember it now. Top of my head. And he was saying that lockdown is like the worst thing that we could be doing.
Really?
Because people with weak immune systems are going to get it because they've got weak immune systems. So they need to be like out in the sun. They need to be making sure they can get the right food to strengthen the immune system. So the fact that we're in lockdown and people are only allowed to go out for essential items is suppressing the immune system.
Wow.
It was like, which if you've got it, it's going to be even worse than just not letting people just go on about their daily lives. Because he was on about Sweden again. It's something I've not really read up on, but Sweden, I think I've got that right. Sweden haven't put people in lockdown, have they?
No, I think they were just maintaining social distancing out in public and just leaving people to be sensible about it. As far as I know, I don't know what their numbers are like. Mine.
Oh, I don't know if they've been quite open with them. I've not seen anybody really reporting on.
Yeah, I don't
Sweden.
know. There's so much to take in at the moment, isn't there? Because it's in every country, pretty much, it seems.
I know.
And like you said, you're bombarded with info if you are watching the news. There's lots to take in. And
I suppose there's an element of boredom. So if something crops up on your news feed that is a little bit, is conspiratory a right word? Is that a real word? Is it? I've just made that up. Conspiratory.
Yeah.
Sounds right anyway. Then it's something that piques your interest and you think, oh my God, yes, that sounds pretty cool that the Russians made it and that it's really like an attempt to control all the minds of like the low income families, so where the rich can again profit off our, I don't know, whatever. But when you see something like a headline like that, you think, yes, that sounds interesting now because we're all bored, because we're all proper bored.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. Yeah, one thing that did concern me, I was thinking about it the other week, was when these powers now of lockdown are happening, and you can only go out for essential items or for your exercise or whatever, is how these powers could be used when there isn't a pandemic.
Right.
It just crossed my mind. It was like, well, I wonder. So
I had the conversation with someone in work about because like the likes of China are under like a dictatorship, aren't they? So they can enforce these. Right. You lock down. You're not allowed out. If you go out, we're going to shoot you. You know what I mean?
Reality.
Yeah. Whereas obviously we can't enforce them kind of things. But like to your point, is that something that, because they've brought in new legislation now, aren't they, to say like the police can enforce that you're not allowed to congregate in high numbers.
Yeah.
If you've been out more than once during the day, they can enforce you to go back in and all that. So that, and they could obviously, now that they've brought their legislations in, they could obviously make them a little bit more harder and a little bit more what's the word I'm looking for, more drastic measures to police it.
Yeah.
Is that something that has set a precedent now? So when we do go back to normal, they could be like, we got this legislation in our back pocket here.
Yeah.
We could enforce it even further to whatever means necessary.
Yeah, exactly, and give a reason, whatever that reason may be. Yeah, I don't know. It was just something that I thought about just when it was just starting to happen. I was thinking, oh, this is an interesting road to go down. And
so
like
just say that whoever you was referring to before, who said it's seasonal, so it's going to come around every year. Maybe say it does come around every year, and it's different waves of it.
Uh-huh.
So every year around Easter time, the government can just turn around and go, right, lockdown, baby. We're in lockdown.
Shut down. Yeah.
Every year for like the months of April and May. Just as we're getting to the end of the financial year, the government says, right.
Until we come up with a vaccine.
Yeah. Well, that's the guy who was on about before, Dr. Shiva Ayudurai. I think that's how you pronounce his second name.
Right. Okay.
He's got a PhD from MIT, so Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
Yeah.
And he's like a really educated guy. He's got a few things on YouTube and recently came out, and he was the person who was talking about these people with weak immune systems, and he's got some really like controversial views on some of the stuff. Not like down the line of David Icke. He's not that like he's not that far gone, but he seems like an educated man with loads of qualifications and that, and he's got some interesting videos like that.
And can probably, back up his idea, with clinical evidence as well, probably, if he's in that world, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I might have to have a...
I'll send you some
later.
I'll send you some links. Yeah. It was interesting.
Yeah. I don't know.
So what's the plan for the rest of the bank holiday then? You're back in work tomorrow?
I'm working tomorrow, yeah. So on bank holiday Monday, because our team's kind of evolving with what we might have to do. Yeah. Part of my role will be working in A&E, doing assessments for people who...
So explain your role then. So what will that entail tomorrow then? If you're in A&E, what will you be doing?
So tomorrow I'll be in what they're calling the green A&E. So they've split the A&E into two. So it'll be red, which is anyone who's sort of COVID symptomatic.
Right.
There. And anyone who isn't. So it could be someone coming in who's maybe had a fall.
Yeah.
Say they're not symptomatic, so then they would go through sort of the green channel, the green A&E, and then I'm sort of part of a team with a nurse and a physio to assess whether they can go home.
Right.
Basically to avoid hospital admission. So we'll do like a mobility assessment. Can they walk? If they can't walk as well as they did when they came in, do they need any walking aids? Can you get on and off your bed?
Right.
So it's just a general assessment with that. That's our side. There's an occupational therapist as well, so they'll look at if they need care, if they need assistance.
Yeah.
In order to go home, which I would imagine is probably quite hard to get at the moment.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's the first time I've done it, so it'll be interesting. Yeah.
Are you concerned at all?
Say again. Sorry.
Are you concerned at all? Have you got any apprehension about it? Or
no, I think we've got the right equipment, I think, and working with an experienced team, and this is all part of my role that might evolve into then following them up in the community, doing the home visit, making sure they're okay at home.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Doing everything safely, and then I don't know, it's a weird time. I mean, normally, I've mentioned before, normally my role would be doing community visits for rehab, running exercise groups for fallers, getting involved in the hospital gym, and working with physios. So obviously they cut right back our community visits.
Of course.
Things started, and just to protect us and the people in the community. But now we've all got the right PPE in the boots of our cars ready to go if we need to then going out and doing these visits again. So but even then being interesting. And it's a weird time, because we are learning loads of new stuff. My role's changed completely in the last month. I don't think I've done a home visit. It's just been planning extra training, working with different people. So we're learning loads of new things, working with different people as well, so you can get the good stuff from them as well.
That's brilliant. That's one thing I wanted to talk to you about as well, because throughout this whole period of being in lockdown, I've had conversations with people. I've done a few podcast episodes for a mate of mine who runs an organisation called Maximum Edge. And he got some funding to run like a program, some workshops for 11 to 16 year olds all around like resilience, mental health, fitness, mindset and all that. So I recently did an episode with him about about a mindset, but specifically around this lockdown period or this quarantine period.
Yeah.
And one of the main things that we came up with and we talked about was having a growth mindset during this period and not a fixed mindset. So like you've just been talking about then, all these things that you're going to be doing now are new to you, an opportunity for growth.
Yeah.
So things like that, like what can we do during this time to actually benefit us and not be of a mindset where this is it, this is the current situation we find ourselves in. Let's dwell on it. Let's just mourn about it until the government says we can go back to our normal daily lives. But use this time now to get new skills within the boundaries of what the government allows us to do. Obviously, not flaunting the guidelines that they've put out there.
Yeah.
But like what stuff can we get good at? What stuff can we use instead of our normal routines? I think it's an important topic, really, having this growth mindset in all aspects of your life, but especially now that we're in this lockdown.
Yeah, it really focuses everything in, doesn't it? Especially for those people who aren't working, they are at home.
Yeah.
How are you going to use your time? You know, what are you going to do?
Exactly.
We've spoke about it before, haven't we, with your with jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Obviously now you're not able to train. You're kind of doing what you can online, but you've said, you know, it's given you time to focus on getting a bit stronger, you know, where your weak points are, and just, you know, maybe picking up the weights again.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, actually. I've enjoyed it, getting back in sort of...
And for when you are, you know.
Yeah, like the limited equipment I've got in my garage and that, I've enjoyed getting back into the process of just lifting weights and trying to get a little bit stronger, a little bit more robust.
Yeah.
So when I do get back on the mats, I'm hopefully not as injury prone.
Yeah, good.
You know.
Yeah.
But going back to your job and your role and that, like, that's essentially you're adopting a growth mindset, aren't you? Getting out there and stepping out of your comfort zone, doing more.
Yeah.
Getting more like maybe frontline experience or doing other tasks, other responsibilities, other roles that you wouldn't normally have done. But that's going to set you up now. So when we are over this lockdown period and that'll enable you to thrive, hopefully, and something else might come of it.
Yeah, exactly. And we're seeing that sort of right across the board with all the staff that I work with. So they've split the physios into different tiers. So tier 1, 2 and 3. So the tier 1 physios are the ones that are going to be hands-on treating these patients at the ventilators, doing the chest treatment. So they're, you know, right there amongst it. But they're learning all these amazing skills now.
Nice.
And, you know, so they're, you know, right across the country, you're going to be seeing people up in their game unbelievably, you know, in this weird time. But yeah, you're right. You've got to kind of keep that in your mind. I think it's easy to kind of drop your head and go, oh my God, when's this going to end? It's not, this isn't my job. This isn't what I should be doing. But instead of looking around and seeing what you can do, what you can learn.
Yeah.
And then applying it, you know, it's,
using it all as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. You're spot on.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's an easy thing to do either, because it's easy to maybe stay in bed till like dinner if you've not got anything to get up for. Yeah. Especially if you've not got the responsibility of kids, maybe, or your kids are a lot older. You don't necessarily have to get up in the morning. So I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, it's a piece of piss this. Yeah, you just got to adopt this growth mindset and look for other ways to do stuff. But yeah, it is hard, but it'll allow you to thrive once this is all over.
Yeah.
Times of adversity, if you can step up and look at ways of adopting this growth mindset and seeing what you can do.
Definitely.
When life's a little bit easier, it'll allow you to accelerate and thrive. And
yeah. Right, and it is recognising that, and it is easier said than done. But then, you know, everything is, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. I know.
Yeah, and it comes in stages as well. We've spoke about it before, haven't we? About, you know, you learn something new, you'll forget some of it, and then apply some of it, and then you know, hold on to some, use it. Some of it drop away maybe a little bit until somebody reminds you of something. You go, oh yeah, okay, I remember now. Get back on the path, and
I know.
You know, yeah. I know. So at the moment, then, have you got a routine that you do? Is your day broken down into, like, at this time I'm going to be doing this? Or?
So I started. I don't know if you've heard of a guy called Brendan Burchard. Have you come across him at all?
Only from you. You sent a thing to me a few weeks ago. Yeah.
Did I send you his journal? Was that what I was on about?
You mentioned it, yeah, the journal, yeah.
So probably about a month, 2 months ago, I bought one of his journals, and I started incorporating this journal into me day to day. So, for example, obviously this is before lockdown now, so we're just going to work, going on our daily lives, going to work, running jiu-jitsu and incremental gains and all this kind of stuff. So I'd get up in the morning, coffee, while my wife's getting ready, Laura's getting ready for work and that, like, feed the dog, come down and fill in this journal. And it's a proper leather A4 bound journal.
Nice.
2-page spread for one day.
Okay.
So the column along the top, it's basically a journal to increase productivity. So the journal the bit along the top is goals you want to get done today, 3 things that have to be done today, one person who you need to maybe connect with or lead, how will you do that today?
Yeah.
A message to yourself today. So I don't know, something along the lines of maybe like only can control what you can control, don't think like the uncontrollables, or something just short and sweet like that.
Yeah.
Down the left hand side, there's a few like sort of more in-depth questions that only require like one-word answers, but it might be, what are you going to do today that's outside your comfort zone? How do you want to act as a person today and why? So maybe you want to be more mindful about things, or maybe you want to be more considerate to other people, and then a reason why. There's about 8 or 9 of these little one-word answer questions, and then you've got your day-to-day timetable, so it's set out in hours, so it does allow you to sit there and really like chunk out your day into 9 till 10 I'm going to do this, 10 till 11 I'm going to do this. And it's something I've never done before, but what I started doing was, say for example, I was trying to write a funding bid for the CIC, for Incremental Gainz.
Yeah.
I'd allow myself just an hour to do that.
Right.
Or for example, say I was trying to do me expenses, me finances, me tax or whatever for that month.
Yeah.
I'd allow myself just an hour to do that. So I'd get on my phone, set a timer for an hour, alarm goes off after an hour, no other distractions, so maybe a cup of coffee or something like that. Do that work for an hour. Once the alarm goes off, that's it, laptop down, that's all I spend doing that one task.
Right.
And then the next task, maybe go in the gym, or I'm going to walk the dog. So it was quite a regimented day, but like every hour was like productive. And it did take a little bit of discipline to, when the alarm goes off, you stop that task and you come back to it maybe tomorrow, next time you've written your diary and that like that. So then that was me kind of my routine. Or obviously if I was in work, I'm in work, do you know what I mean? I can't, it's difficult to do that journal when obviously I'm in work and that. So I do my morning bit, fill it all in, and then I go to work, and then I've got the bits for jiu-jitsu, so I want to run the lesson tonight, what we're doing in the lesson, maybe a bit more mindful about some of the kids who are a bit quieter, so this is all written down in the journal, and you can revisit it at certain times in the day, like what you wanted to achieve during that time. And then on a night, you've got your assessment of the day, so what went well, how you stepped out your comfort zone, what did you find, someone who I don't know, give you a compliment, or did you give someone a compliment, what was really good that worked well today, and then you do the same thing tomorrow. And then every month you plan your month out ahead and you give yourself values. So how have you acted this month, professionally, financially, emotionally, and you mark yourself out to 10. And then as the months go on, obviously you've got all this previous accountability, like what you can look back and say whether you've improved or not.
And do you feel you did? Did it help?
In some aspects, yeah. In some, maybe no. Go on.
Sorry. No, I was going to say, how easy was it to find something that puts you out of your comfort zone every day?
Not easy.
Yeah.
Not easy. So I started. Initially, I would have been putting like, I don't know, because before I started running jiu-jitsu classes, that would have been outside my comfort zone, to stand in front of a class and lead the class. But now I've been doing that for like 18 months. That isn't stepping outside my comfort zone anymore. So what is the next level to that? So for example, these face-to-face recorded podcasts, that was one of the things that I did. Step outside my comfort zone, because a lot of people are, and I'm still conscious, but you mentioned it last time, people don't like listening to their own voice, do they?
Oh, I sent you that message last week. Yes.
Yeah.
It's really weird, isn't it?
And you're not used to it. It's awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And especially like in a video format as well, when you can sort of see yourself and you maybe see a clip of the video that you just recorded or something. You think, oh my God, there's no way I'm putting that out there in the world for people to listen to. In that, but I remember going on some media training for where I work. We put a bid in for a project, and it got nominated for a National Lottery People's Award.
Oh, cool.
And part of this award was that if you'd have won this award, you'd have been on ITV Granada Tonight. And because of that, part of the award and the nomination was that you went to go on a day's free media training.
Oh, yeah.
At the Salford Keys, whatever studios it is at Salford. So I went on this media training, and of all the people who were there, the main thing that came up was that people didn't like the thought of people being on telly. Obviously made people quite insecure, and listening to their own voice was like a big issue that people had, that they either wanted to work on or that they couldn't get their head around. And you'd think that these like media people who were running this course would have like some really insightful advice, really like something that you could take away, and really inspiring advice that, all right, yeah, I get my head around that now. And the advice that they give, and they're written in big letters on the board, was just get over it. that was the extent of the advice what they had to give.
Get over it.
Just get over it.
Yeah.
No one likes the sound of their own voice. We all think that we sound common. We all think that we sound, oh my God, do I say that? Oh my God, how many times did I say it?
And yeah, I'd constantly going, yeah.
One of the things Laura pinpoints on me is I always say like, which is a bit of a Merseyside Scouse, even though I don't class myself as a Scouser.
Yeah, of course not. No.
Yeah.
And a teenage thing as well. A lot of teenagers, my kids say it a lot. So, like,
what's that like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I went like, over to see my friend, and then we like did this. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was the advice he had, or they had, was just get over it. But in a way, though, it's quite it is quite good advice, because get over yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you can apply that to other things as well, can't you? We've spoken before about breath work and cold showers specifically, and that's a thing.
That's one thing.
Get over it. Again, it's easy to say, but hard to do.
Yeah.
Get in there. Start like 10 seconds. Get over it. It's cold water. You know.
Before we get onto that cold water therapy and breath work, because I wanted to talk to you about that, but another good piece of advice that we got in that media training was, so I had to give a bit of a monologue, just about who I am, things that I do, my interests, just to get comfortable with speaking in front of the people in the classroom. It was just the first exercise we had to do, and then we did it again at the end, utilising all like the little tips and tricks that they give us, and we'd have feedback on how we improved or if we improved and all that. But one of the main things that I took from that media training, and I try and adopt it, sometimes I forget, but it's worthwhile going over it again to try and like remember what they tell you and that. And so anytime you've probably done it yourself, when someone asks you a question, and the first thing you do without even thinking, before you even start talking, you go and then you start talking, don't you? So what they were trying to get into the habit of doing, and they were saying like the effect what this has to people who are listening to you is so powerful, even though it's such a little thing. So you ask me a question, and instead of going, so what I do is, as soon as you ask the question, breathe in through your nose, and the period when you would be saying, hang on, he said, don't say anything. And it's a hard habit to get into, but he said, just don't say anything. Just breathe in through your nose. And then instead of saying just give your answer. So replace with
a breath,
an intake of breath. And he said,
wow,
when you watch like I'm in no way comparing myself to like presidents and stuff like that. But he said when you watch presidents,
You're not.
no. So when you watch presidents and politicians give speeches, he said they won't say or they won't like give whatever word replaces they'll just do an intake of breath and then they'll give their answer. And he said you watch it, how powerful it is. People like are engaged in it then. Just that psychological thing of like not having someone say before they start talking gives more, I can't think of the word what they use to describe it, but more like more depth and like more,
yeah,
like I can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but you know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah. Once that was brought to your attention then, and once you started looking and listening more closely, did you start seeing it?
Tried to, yeah.
Oh, they're doing that. Oh,
Yeah.
I see what they're doing.
Yeah, I was definitely noticing it in other people, but to actually implement it myself,
right,
again, easier said than done. But the first task is being aware of it, innit? So I am aware that I might start going. So like the first step is being aware of it, and then the next step is trying to implement it. But definitely something I try and think about. Yeah.
Just that breath in, just one breath in through the nose, giving you that thinking time and reaction time, and just I don't know.
I wish I could think of the word what they used, because it was a really good word to describe the impression that it gives when you're on the other side being interviewed.
Okay.
Without that doubt of, or that amateurism of just going the intake of breath. And then you give your answer.
Yeah, because to do the breath as well,
gravitas.
You have to hold yourself a little bit differently to, kind of portrays it.
The word was gravitas. Gives it
gravitas.
More like gravitas.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it might seem like a simple little thing, but it was one of the main things that I took away from that day's media training. Don't fill gaps with fill it with the silence. Just take a breath. And then give your answer. There
Awful. You go. That's it. I'm going to do that this week.
Yeah.
Add that.
Even if you just make yourself aware of how many times you say when someone asks you something, even if that's all it is.
Catching yourself doing it. Yeah, I've done it again. Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So going back to breath work then, before we finish off, Cole, I know you've been really, from what I've seen and when I've spoke to you about it, the Wim Hof breathwork stuff, the cold water therapy.
Yeah.
I've tried to do cold water therapy.
Okay.
I've tried, when I was doing my journal, back to the journal again.
Yeah.
I started, so one of the comfort zone things, what you asked before, was having these cold showers. Okay. That was getting out of my comfort zone for that day. And I managed to get it up to 2 minutes.
Okay.
So I'd have a shower. I'd have a shower. Once I've showered, the last 2 minutes, cold as it can possibly go, under there for 2 minutes. And that's what I built it up to, 30 seconds every day, building up to 2 minutes, which wasn't too bad. 2 minutes, I thought, 2 minutes is pretty good.
Uh-huh.
But then, for some reason, I fell out of habit with it. Yeah. So talk a little bit, how did you incorporate it into your routine, or have you used the ocean more than a shower, or... Because obviously I know you live right next to the ocean and that, so...
Yeah, I've kind of done both. I do the shower every day. Jumping by 30 seconds in a day that's quite a big jump, mind.
So I got in, did 30 seconds. The next day, did a minute. Next day, a minute and a half.
Yeah, that's quite a big jump.
Right.
I think I started by just putting it on cold as I could stand it.
Straight off the bat, straight away?
No. So I'd get in, get up on hot, do what you need to do, get clean.
Yeah. Always.
And then towards the end of the shower, turn it. And I think I started not even turning it down as cold as it would go. It would be as cold as I could stand it.
Right, yeah.
So that might be halfway, say, for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's it. And then I can't remember which way around I did it, whether I sort of decreased the temperature or decreased the time at that temperature, and then I can't remember, but eventually got it down to as cold as it'll go, and I'm just doing it. But I would say 30 seconds is quite a big
All right.
jump.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not,
So you could maybe do, maybe do it a minute, maybe for a week. As cold as you can stand it.
Yeah.
And the thing is with the shower as well, you can kind of avoid it a little bit, can't you?
Yeah.
If you angle yourself, it's just hitting your shoulder and at the top of your chest. You go, oh, this is easy.
That was the worst thing. Making sure your head didn't get it. So once your head's under, that's when like your emerge start. Yeah, boom.
Yeah. I find the bit sort of under my arms and down my sort of side ribs.
Yeah.
That's quite hard getting right in there. Yeah. But the breath work, going back to that, I've only recently now, there's a good little clip of Wim Hof on Instagram. He did a 15-minute clip where it's a guided 3 rounds of breath.
All right.
3 breath holds. And then what I've been doing, especially on these days off, just getting straight in the shower, then minute hot and then whacking it on cold and just controlling that breath. And there's lots of scientific ways as to the benefits.
So what breath work did you incorporate in the showers then? What are you doing?
Just controlled breath in through the nose, out through the mouth.
Making sure you're not like hyperventilating, keeping control and
just keeping control, and maybe focusing on, instead of that's feeling really cold under my arm or on my face, just I don't know, just feeling my feet on the floor, concentrating on my feet.
Right.
Feeling my feet on the shower tray.
So like a different kind of awareness. Awareness to a different part of the body.
Yeah, just moving your awareness around, maybe even just to take the mind off, because it is cold water. It doesn't feel very nice, but get over it. Get over yourself. Is that what they said?
Yeah. Get over it. Yeah.
Yeah. But going back to like you say, lucky enough, we've got the sea close to us.
Mm-hmm.
And last year I kind of decided to dip into that a little bit and just going in my shorts, even sort of early last year, January, February, myself and a mate were going down, blowing a hoolie, getting strange looks from the fishermen as they're sort of coming in and going, what are you two doing? Not for long, you're not in there for long, minutes.
Yeah.
But that carried on throughout most of the year,
Right.
Go down there in the evenings, take the dog for a walk, get in my shorts and just get in, have a swim around, and there is a little group of people in Pembrokeshire, the blue tits and the bluebells, the men and the women, and they're up until recently they would be somewhere every day, going in all year round.
Yeah.
I'm not quite at that stage yet, but
there's a guy in Bournemouth called Jeff Lawson who was my first sort of, not jiu-jitsu, my first jiu-jitsu club in Basingstoke was an affiliate of IPON, which is Jeff Lawson's school in Bournemouth. And I follow him on Facebook, and he's just started doing, he must live just off the coast in Bournemouth. So he goes down, and every morning at 6 a.m. He goes in the ocean with a few lads or his family or whatever, and does like the cold water straight in the ocean for however long. And he's documenting it on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But do you not think it's quite interesting? You've adopted that, or you was doing that before the lockdown, and you've just done it off your own back. You've not put it out there anywhere really. But then other people at different parts of the country have got the same mindset, and they're doing it as well.
Yeah.
I think there's something weird in that, maybe, I don't know how, but like consciousness or whatever, other people are doing and having the same ideas somewhere else in the country. What is it that sparked that initial?
I know. It's
to make everyone start to adopt these little habits at the same time, or the same ideas, without me telling you this is what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? It's
weird. And when I was doing it last year, I got talking to different people at different times of the day. I was sat in a sauna talking to a woman, and she knew all about Wim Hof, and she was going to a different part of, like the next bit over from Fishguard. She was going there each day. So we were sat talking, and then I think I mentioned to you before, I was sort of taking improvers swimming lessons last year, and I was talking to a guy there, and he was doing it a little bit further up the coast where he lives.
Right.
So there's all these little enclaves of people
who don't know about each other, but
didn't know about each other. There are a group of people who do meet up, until recently, but there were all these little people that were doing it themselves, just on their own, wherever.
not realizing there's a little community of people who are all.
Yeah, it's nice to hear, because
that's good.
Especially when you tell people, I'm just going to go in the sea, and you go, what? What's wrong with you? Because up until last year, I'd only be going in if I had a wetsuit on,
Yeah.
I ain't going in. It's freezing, I'd go in a wetsuit. But last year I kind of ventured out a bit and just went in a pair of shorts. And
where do you think it's come from then? Because I mean, we hear it on Rogan.
Yeah.
See a word of Wim Hof and that. Like the effects of cold water therapy.
I know. Are
well documented, and I've not got I'm not articulate enough to talk about all the benefits and why they are good for you. But do you think it's just because of the exposure online? More people are doing it. Famous people are doing it, so that obviously trickles down to everybody else.
Maybe. I mean, if you're connected and you're on Instagram and you're on Facebook, especially if you're going a certain way, you're listening to certain podcasts and following certain people's feeds, it's going to crop up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you ever had an ice bath?
No, but there's a lad who trains with us at jiu-jitsu, and on a Saturday, so Saturdays is a big session. On a Saturday we do there's no gi and then rolling, so it's quite a big Saturday morning session. And Dale says what he does on a Saturday after he finishes jiu-jitsu is he'll go past the petrol station and buy 2 bags of ice, goes home, runs a bath, chucks the ice in, and he'll sit in the bath for 20 minutes, 10, 15, 20 minutes, depending on how painful it is and that
Right.
And I was I was shocked. I was like, seriously, you go home and do that? I said, I'm only just getting up to 2 minutes in the shower on cold. And he was like, yeah, he said, it's hard. Yeah. It's hard and it's sore. But he said, and similar to the cold showers, even though I was only doing 2 minutes, the feeling I got from it, and you must have had more being in the ocean and that and I felt fantastic. The whole body's tingling and I was buzzing, like I've had 7 cups of coffee or something. But Dale, who does these ice baths, said he feels fantastic after it. Whatever the science behind it is or whatever, he said he feels fantastic. But he said it's mentally, again, just get over it, get in there, get it done. But I've not tried one yet. No, I will do.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the next thing to step outside my comfort zone. Maybe. Have you done it?
A couple of times, yeah. Again, with going back, not last year before, because when I was going quite hard, training, doing a lot of the wrong things. Some of the things I should have been doing, my back exercises, I was kind of neglecting and doing other stuff. And I was a couple of times I'd bought 2 bags of ice and did the same. Got Emma to run a cold bath. Yeah. Come back from the gym, chuck them and just jump straight in. Yeah, it's hard. I think about 20 minutes there. I wasn't in there for.
Maybe he's not got up to 20 minutes. Maybe it's 10, I think.
Yeah, and I wonder then, because it's supposed to help with reducing inflammation, isn't it? If you're having hard training sessions to reduce that muscle soreness and achiness afterwards.
Yeah, I think that's why he's done it. But yeah that's legit. That I listened to Ross Edgley recently, and he's done it. Do you follow Ross Edgley on YouTube? Have you seen any of his YouTube?
No, I know who he is, but no, I don't really follow him.
He's done some YouTube stuff recently about ice water swimming.
Okay.
Because obviously he swam around Great Britain, didn't he? But he's been trying to get people. He's like a little bit of running his own little experiment. So his theory was muscle mass is thermic, so it conducts heat.
Okay.
So the theory being, and I'm paraphrasing, I might not get it completely right, but the more muscle mass someone carries, the better, in theory, they should be at ice swimming.
Okay.
Because muscle's thermic, the more muscle mass you're carrying, as long as you're moving, it's conducting heat. Therefore, you'll be warmer for longer in the water.
Yeah.
So he took this bodybuilder, YouTube star bodybuilder, for an ice water swim. And then recently, he took Eddie Hall, world's strongest man, Eddie Hall. Yeah. He took him ice swimming, and the funny, because obviously he's mentally robust. He's got the world record for lifting deadlift, something like that. So he's mentally resilient. But yeah, he struggled initially with the cold water immersion. Yeah. Ross Edgley was saying that after 20 minutes, that's when hypothermia kicks in. So they seriously had to keep an eye on the time on how long they'd been in the water for.
Okay.
So they were nowhere getting near 20 minutes. So maybe that makes me think that Dale's not quite got up to 20 minutes yet in this ice bath. But
yeah,
good videos and worth watching them. They're interesting.
I'll have a look at that. Where were they doing that? Do you know?
A man-made lake. I can't think where it was, to be honest, off the top of my head. Somewhere down in the home counties, I presume, somewhere down there. But yeah, they're interesting. They're worth watching. Yeah.
There's so much content, isn't there? You know what takes your interest.
I started again getting anxious because there's so much stuff that I wanted to watch. I was like, I want to watch that, and I had to have a word with myself and say, listen, it doesn't really matter if you don't watch it. Do you know what I mean?
No. So much. There's only so much
to watch, and I want to get that information. But
yeah,
I just so happen to miss an episode of Joe Rogan. It's nothing bad's gonna happen.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Yeah, I'm the same. I've been the same. I mean, I've got a handful of books on the go, and these past few days I was thinking, oh, brilliant! I can sit down and have a good hit. I haven't read that much. I download after I chatted to you last week about you trying to train solo at home.
Yeah.
It was a free John Danaher.
Yeah, that is pretty good actually.
Yeah, well, I don't do jiu-jitsu, but I thought I'd be quite good, just to go through the movements of getting on the floor and moving around.
Yeah, mate.
So that's
movements. Yeah,
that's on my list. I'm like, oh damn, I haven't managed to do that these last 2 days, but it's there,
Just weird ways of moving the human body. So if you're into, you obviously are, because the mobility work you're doing on your back and your yoga and stretching and surfing and swimming, it's just a different way of moving the human body. So utilising the hips, bridging, hip escaping, shrimping, all that kind of stuff. It's supposed to be. I'm not watched it myself yet, but I know obviously the movements that he's utilising and talking about, and you can get into it. It'll just be another way of utilising and moving the human body.
Yeah. Would you need much space to be going through these drills that he would be doing, or not?
Just the same you would as yoga.
Really? Oh, cool.
Yeah, just a yoga mat.
Yeah.
I think there's one specific exercise in the leg raises, so you'd need a chin-up bar or something like that. But the rest of them are just moves you could utilise on a yoga mat, definitely. Easy.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's on the list. It's on the never-ending, ever-growing list.
I know. I remember that. I was laughing at that when you said that, the never-ending, ever-growing list. It's good, that. Yeah.
Okay, mate. Here's something for you then. If we can check in next week.
Yeah.
How about we both get an ice bath done this week? What do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, all right.
Yeah. What are we going to do? 1 bag or 2 bags?
Fuck. 2. You've just got to do it on my 2 bags.
2 bags.
Yeah.
Filled with cold water.
So just a cold water bath.
Yeah.
Throw 2 bags of ice in there.
2 bags of ice.
How long for? What have we got to do?
Oh yeah, how long for?
5 minutes.
5 minutes could be forever, couldn't it? I don't know. 5 minutes?
You've got 5 minutes. I think that's a good.
Go 5 minutes.
Right. So when I spoke to Dale about this, I never even give it a second thought. But he was going in boxer shorts.
Okay.
And socks.
Okay.
I don't even know what the correct.
Right.
Okay. But obviously, with your extremities are going to get cold, aren't they?
Yeah.
Maybe boxer shorts is a good idea. I don't know.
So I'll go in my winter wetsuit and my winter booties. It'll be all right, shouldn't I?
I don't know.
Okay.
Let's just say pair of boxers on. Pair of boxers, cold water, ice bath.
Pants, ice bath. 2 bags. What day? Should we do it at the same time? Or do you just want to do it at some point in the week?
At some point in the week, yeah. I don't want to be too accountable for when I have to do it. I have to pluck up some courage.
I can't believe I've just said it. Yeah, there we go. Give it a go. I'll send you. There's the guided Wim Hof. You've done the Wim Hof method.
A little bit, yeah. I know a little bit about. Well, not a lot, but I know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that you should ever do in water.
Yeah.
But no, especially the breath holds and that. That's a dangerous thing. But the 3 rounds of breath work with the 3 breath holds at the end of each. Do that.
So hang on, explain that again. So
right. So
go on, take me through it.
So the way he explains it is, so big breath in, right into the belly, into the chest.
Yeah.
In through the nose or the mouth. I don't think it really matters which.
Yeah.
And then just relax the breath out. So you're just kind of letting it go. Let it go, as he says it. Fully in, let it go. And that 30 times.
Yeah.
And then on that last breath, you sort of fully in, let it go. Breath.
So a longer breath out on the last breath.
Let it all out.
Yeah.
And hold your breath and just relax.
So no intake, just let it all out and then hold the breath.
Hold that breath. And I think on the guided one that he does, that first round is a minute breath hold. If you can, everyone's going to be different. If you need to take that breath in earlier, then do it. And then you start again. You do another round, same thing. 30 breaths. Big breath in. Let it go.
Yeah.
And you might get a little bit of tingling in your fingers and your toes.
Yeah, I think I experienced that.
A little bit of lightheaded.
One time I did play around with it a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'm not sort of articulate or knowledgeable enough to explain why that's happening, but that's what happens. Do that for 3 rounds, and then try the ice bath or the cold shower.
All right.
See, yeah.
I did find when I was doing cold showers, that breathing into my belly, so not breathing like into the lungs and hyperventilating, controlled breath work into the belly, did allow me to stay calmer under the cold water. Whether that's right or whether that's whatever the science behind it, I found it better to breathe and concentrate on as well, like we were saying, be more mindful.
Yeah.
My breath into belly breathing.
Yeah.
Felt I could control the cold water better.
Yeah, so really deep breathing, because if you breathe in sort of in the upper part of your chest and in all the accessory muscles in your neck, so keeping it, that's you can increase anxiety and increase your cortisol and your stress response if it's everything's up here and it's shorter breaths and but nice big deep belly and chest and get it in. There's been a couple of good workshops on Instagram since this lockdown. The breath guy who's done a couple.
That's what the Instagram handle is, the breath guy.
The breath guy, the breathe and breath pod I think is the other one. They've done a couple of free online sessions guided for about an hour. Just plug in your headphones and dive in. They've been really, really good.
So again, it's just another growth, another opportunity to adopt a growth mindset, isn't it? Trying, whether it's new to you, whether it's something you've always planned on doing but never got your arse in gear and decided to do it, or whether you fell by the wayside a little bit. Just use this time to adopt new skills or use something that you've always wanted to have a go at.
Try it. And it might not be the thing, and then then, don't you? Just have a look around and see what. Keep trying. Some things will stick, some things will fall by the wayside, but as long as I think you're constantly looking around for the opportunities to get better at whatever it is. So,
Jeff Thompson. Do you know who Jeff Thompson is?
No.
Jeff Thompson used to be a bouncer many, many years ago in Coventry, and he written a book called Watch My Back.
Right.
And then he went down quite a spiritual route and started looking at all the different spiritual books. But anyway, he coined a term, opening your conscious net. So if you're open to all different ideas and stuff, so say you look at going into breath work now, then that makes you look at Wim Hof. And then from Wim Hof, you start looking at pranayama, yoga or whatever. And then from the yoga, you start looking at Eastern philosophy. And he said just having an open mind. So like if one thing happens, opening your conscious net allows you to just be open enough to follow different avenues. One thing leads to another, which leads to another, which leads to another. And before you know it, you've got all these wonderful influences affecting your life and all this. Like so.
Opening your conscious net.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So for next time then. So if we give it, what we're going to do, give it a week or something, or
Up to you, Dave. Yes.
what are we on? What are we on now? It's Sunday, aren't we?
It's a Sunday today. Yeah.
So next weekend then, doesn't have to be Sunday, but next weekend, at some point during this week, you've got to have done a 5 minutes cold water bath, ice water bath, sorry.
Yeah.
5 minutes, yeah. Jesus Christ. At some point. And I'll let you know when I've done it, and you let me know when you've done it.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
And we'll discuss it next time.
Okay. We'll be fine. We'll get over it. We'll be fine.
What was the phrase? Just get over it, yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah.
But again, easier said than done. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Mental resilience training, that, innit?
Isn't it? Yeah. Isn't it?
I'll have to do some like hard workout before it or something, just to so I've got something to like recover from.
Bad idea. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Cool.
Some kettlebells or something. So mate, so we've done an hour and 15 there.
Really?
Yeah. For the first instalment of the Incremental Gainz podcast.
Oh wow.
An hour and 15.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah.
It's been awesome to chat with you, mate. As always, you know, it's nice to do it face to face instead of, like we said, fragmented texts over a week sort of thing.
I'm terrible at replying as well. So
yeah, me too.
I read it and I think, oh yeah. I know I'm going to reply to that, and then something else will happen, and then I'll think, oh shit, I've not replied to Paul, and then I go back to me reply, and it's still sat in like the reply box.
Yeah. That's all right. I get it. I do the same. There's no biggie, is it?
No.
What's the thought behind Incremental Gainz then? Is it like that, like you've been talking about the growth mindset and techniques?
Yeah. So Incremental Gainz. I started Incremental Gainz in 2018. It was. So it's to improve the mental and physical well-being of children, young adults, and adults in the local community. That's what it's all about.
That's cool. Yeah. I listened to that last that episode you were referring to on just now, actually. The latest one you released.
Which one's that, sorry?
The latest one that you released. Did it come out yesterday?
Yesterday. Mindset.
Yeah, I listened to that one, and I kind of fell asleep to the one with the veteran. I've downloaded the veteran one.
Yeah.
But I need to I put it on late last night as I was just sort of lying in bed. But yeah. It's
quite a long one, that, and like I said, I'm not doing much talking on it. It was just a matter of recording his life story and that, but yeah. But no, that's what it's all about. So cool. Because I don't get funding for the podcast, I thought, well, I may as well just, because I do it for my mate on that Maximum Edge. I'm doing them anyway. Mm-hmm. But instead of them being, because you obviously notice the ones I do for him are a little bit more like instructive and a bit more like just me on my own talking about various topics. Whereas for Incremental Gainz, I want it a little bit more like this, like conversational, but where people can then think, oh, Wim Hof, I'll go and have a look at that online. You know what I mean? Yeah. A bit more, less structured, but because of the stuff we're interested in and know about and talk about, other people will find it interested in that as well. So
that's good. What was the phrase? Opening the conscious net, was it?
Opening your conscious nets. Yeah.
Opening people's conscious nets. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
and
it.
The tagline of Incremental Gainz is improve on yesterday, every day.
Every day.
That's what it is, yeah. That's the idea behind it. That's the whole philosophy. Yeah.
That's cool. Love it.
So, mate.
Love it. Cool. We leave it there?
Yeah.
Check
so,
in
let me know when you've done your ice bath.
I've got it in my head. I'm going to do it on Wednesday. I've got an online yoga session, so I'm going to do it after that.
Yeah. I'll time it after it. There's some online jiu-jitsu sessions, so I'll time it after one of them, or when I've done some kettlebells or something. maybe when Laura's not on a voice call, so if she isn't screaming. Yeah.
Where have my balls gone?
I know. Yeah, sounding, mate.
All right, buddy.
Awesome. That was awesome anyway.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Good fun.
All right, mate. I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, have a good week. Stay safe.
You too, mate. You too. Take care.
All right. Take care.
See you later.